Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. Hope you're all doing well. Guess what time it is? Boom. It's the rants. We're going to rant, we're going to rant, we're going to rant. About stuff, about the future of music creation. Are you excited? It's Monday morning here in Australia. I'm good to go. Right about now. Boom. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name's Jade. This is How to App on iOS. I hope you're all doing very, very cool. Yeah? Everyone good? Welcome to our Wart Warriors. You can become a Wart Warrior by clicking the join button down below or the link in the chat to become a member for $1 a month. And you get custom emojis and all this kind of stuff and all my love and all that stuff. Yes, it's Monday morning and boy, was it a big weekend. I'm already buggered and this week hasn't started, but I'm going to try and keep the energy up because that's what we do here on YouTube. Let's say hello to you all. There's the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Thomas Christ putting all the links in for you bitches out there to fucking clickety-clue. Welcome, Thomas. Ali, Pookie, Forest of the Wolf. Did I just have a brain melt? Barry Glenn, hello to you. Ed B. Metal, Gregory O'Sullivan, Andy Goldsby. What's going on? If you notice at the top of the chat, today's featured artist is the return of the Indigo Sunsets. Oh, yeah, and boy, was I excited to see that drop and know that they're working back together again. It was very exciting stuff. I'm pumped up. Why am I getting messages on my phone? That's because I didn't silence it. Good stuff. Stu and Andy are back together writing an album for the Indigo Sunsets. We're going to listen to their new track at the end of today's show before I ditch you over there to Pete Johns for YML. FPC, good to know you and to see you. Joe Glenn, hello, Joe. And have I missed anyone right at the top? Brad Example, of course. The man, the myth, the T-shirt wearing bandit. Benedict Stewart, what's going on, my friend? Long time no see. I hope you're well as also. Layla, if you're watching the chat. Russ, if you're watching, sneaking around in the corners. Kim, if you're creeping around in the shadows. Hey, if you're creeping around in the shadows, that's all right too. We all love our lurkers. Not every day is a day where you feel like chatting in the chat and running the hello gauntlet, right? So we love our lurkers as well. Hambo and Guzzo, what's going on? Axiom's in the house. Boom, everyone's here rocking out and listening and want to hear me talk some shit today. Well, I'm going to do it for you. We're going to talk today about music technology and where the absolute ever-loving it is heading, because I don't know and I want to put on my magician's hat, my crystal ball, and I want to try and work out and make some predictions and you guys can help me. And then in 30 years' time, we'll look back at this video and go, that Jade Starr's a it. What kind of predictions were they? So, yeah, it's I'm going to call it Nostra Arsis. If I get it right, it's a total arse, and I'm talking through my nostril. There we go. So, music technology, let's start off with, music. It's been around a long time. It's as long as it seems like humans have existed, there's been some form of music. Even if it's just clickety-clack, smacking sticks, bashing rocks, there's rhythm. There's always been some kind of tonality as long as there's been sound that can emanate from our mouths and the ability to use our hands to create things, which makes us very different from many, many other creatures on this planet. Not taking away anything from creatures on this planet, because we can't really say we know anything about creatures on this planet because we don't live in their bodies, do we? We're not inside an octopus. We're not inside a giraffe. We're not inside an elephant. We don't know their communication, really. We can assume and we can do tests and chop their brains up and do all this stuff, but we don't understand. But we do understand us, kind of, sort of, even though we don't understand our brains fully. but we can do things with our hands. Clearly, we can do things with our hands because look what we've built around us. We've built around us this amazing infrastructure of life, the world, the planet, the stuff. Well, we didn't build the planet, but we've built things on top of it to hopefully make our lives easier. It hasn't always worked out. You know, we've used our hands to bomb the shit out of each other. We've used our hands to murder each other. We use our hands to do some very positive things. I often wonder, we were talking about this last night on another channel. I would like to know what it's like to be inside the brains of an octopus and live life for one day and see what it's like to be an octopus, right? But we can't do that, can we? So let's just try and work out what we can do in the future with music. Hobbs, hello. Jenny Jolivet, what is going on? All right. So we are incredibly creative and we do seem to manifest amazing things. And music has been one of the things that not only, we talk about this all the time on the channel, music is one of those things that consoles us, comforts us, helps us spread joy, helps us feel good, helps us do so many things, and sometimes can be a real drain on us because you want to make music and you're not feeling it and you get stressed and depressed and there's all this kind of stuff that comes from making music. It's not always positive, but it's a constant. And even if you feel like you can't sing, oh, you can, because yelling is a form of singing. Look at death metal, you know? A lot of those guys can't sing. They just scream and it still is musical. Yeah, and it seems like there's, throughout the history of music, with our scales and our notes and chords and all of this stuff, we've created instruments to make further the sounds of these scales and circles of fifths. And at the same time, we've made music from noises and we've made music from like textures and field recordings. There's so many ways to make music. It is never ending, even though it feels like we have reached the end of the road for like all of the notes and scales and the chords, you know? And you often hear people say, well, music just gets repeated and it's the same shit over and over again. Yes. And you can hear it often. Well, let's start here. The Indigo Sunsets, who we're going to feature today, their new song. They just released this new song. They put it up on YouTube, and what happens? They get somebody claiming them, saying, hang on a minute, that's our song. And it's like, well, it's not. It's actually not. If you listen to it, it's not your fucking song. They're singing a completely different song. Yes, it happens to have, in a portion of the song, a similar chord structure flow. But it's not the fucking same song. Algorithms aren't smart enough to work this out yet, unfortunately. And I don't think they ever will. They'll hear it and go, well, that's the same thing, because they don't have, AI doesn't clearly have the ability to discern the difference between two completely different songs that follow the same chord structure. But it does happen. I mean, there's throughout history, there's so many songs that you hear and go, that's that song. And some artists do blatantly plagiarize or use samples or things like that. So essentially, music is getting, but yeah, that's it. People are trying to, these days, claim D, C, and G, and that is a crime. You should be rounded up by the Gestapo. Where are we going? Put into concentration camps and forced to listen to Milli Vanilli until you're dead. I think that's a good punishment. If you try to claim D, C, and G, Milli Vanilli for life on headphones. Or has anybody seen The Young Ones, that episode where the Fatumch comes? And the Fatumch is this demon from the spirit world who comes to collect you and takes you to hell and forces you to listen to Barry Manilow till your head explodes. I think that's a good punishment, don't you think? I'll never forget that clip. The guy's there with headphones and he goes, "We'll give you a bit more." And he's like, no more Barry Manilow. And there's all blood coming out of his nose. But that's what should happen to people who claim claim no chords like that. It's ridiculous, but people do it. People do it. So here we are in this. We're in this predicament. It seems like where there's only, as Thomas puts, where do I find Thomas' comment? There's only 12 notes in the scale. Bound to repeat things somewhere. But amazingly, here we are, 2024, and music has just been an intrinsic part of our entire being, our existence, and we're still making fabulous music. There's still amazing music that comes out that you go, that's really cool. You know, there's artists that are out there that are so groundbreaking and so unique that they're not even using instruments. And and the things we make music with now is evolving. But is it evolving at a rate that is fast enough for you, for me, for everyone we see? Because, I mean, it only feels like, what, a very short time ago that this was like this groundbreaking piece of technology. It's a piece of glass that I can type on, compared to the humble laptop over here, you know? The laptop compared to a desktop was like groundbreaking within itself. Oh my God, look how light it is and stuff. And now we've got this piece of glass that we're writing on. But has there been really any advancements since the piece of glass that we tap on and the phones that we tap on? That, you know, one of these could have launched 1,000 moon missions back in the 60s. It feels like technology's slowing down a little bit in regards to making music, that everything's starting to get a bit, you know, especially, you know, let's talk about like recording music to start with. Yeah. Oh yeah. Talking about like Aztec stuff, right? Look at this. I even got this out. Let's talk about this little instrument here. This is an Aztec death whistle. See this? Beautiful little thing. Now, this isn't a real Aztec death whistle. This is, you know, a 3D printed replica of one. So it has a hole down here at the bottom, and it has a hole on the top. All right, and the technique behind this thing, like these things have been around Aztec times. The technique of this is to blow it, and it apparently will mimic the shriek of the squeal of somebody screaming in pain, a woman. Let's see if I can bring this over here. Bring the mic over. I don't want to do it in this mic. You'll all kill me. Let's turn on this one over here. Right? That's what it's supposed to do. But again, musical instruments. There's varied, and you know, I have I don't even think I have it behind me. I'd have to go and grab my healing drum. I have a healing drum which is made from an animal hide, and a lot of instruments. Let's just talk about the instruments were made from animals. How weird is that? Right? Skins of drums. When I went to this crazy, yeah, I need more practice blowing. Speaking of which, I want to get your opinion on this. Do any of you remember as a kid blowing bubbles? Let me know in the chat. Do any of you in the chat remember blowing bubbles? I'll wait for you all. You tell me. Here's the question. It's an important question of the day. Do any of you remember blowing bubbles as a kid? Any of you? Anyone remember blowing bubbles as a kid? I'll wait. I've got time. No, I've got no takers. Anyone? Yeah. Anyone? Yeah. Come on, let me know. Yes or no. Does anyone remember? All right. All right. We got a few people. We got Ed. Fat Panda Cat remembers it. Thomas, Hobbs, Forrest. All these people remember blowing bubbles as a kid. Well, the good news is he's back in town. Was it worth it, Brad? Anyway, I'm going to get cancelled for that, aren't I? All right. So, but instruments are fucking made from animals. The skins are made from animals. My Indian healing drum was made. I went to an Indian, Native American Indian weekend, and we had to hunt a deer. We had to hunt a deer down and physically kill it and then skin it. And then we had to cure it, and we made a drum from it. And it was so dark and disturbing to do it. Should I, let's see. Let me grab it. If you haven't seen it, I should do the right thing, grab it. Stop. Because I'm mobile. I've got a headless mic. Let me find it. We're going behind the scenes today, aren't we? Whoa. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Oh, that's not it. That's the bodies. Well, I'm going to hide those. This is what happens when you live in a murder den. I can't even find it. That was worthless. I don't know where I've put it. But what's really fascinating about drum skins, yeah, especially that one, that healing drum, it's made from a fucking deer. And I can't even find it. That sucks. All right, it's somewhere. But you can see the veins of the deer in it. And it always feels weird when you're hitting it and you look at it and you can see actual veins under the skin. It's like, oh man, I feel like I'm hitting something that was alive. And it's true, it was alive, and I murdered it. I'm a terrible person. It cost me a lot of money to do it. But, you know, this is, ivory, pianos, made from ivory, from elephants. Not from elephants. Not from elephants. But their tusks, the ivory, to make piano keys. You know, what a horrible practice. So throughout history, you know, thankfully, it's over time, we're not very healing for the deer at all. But thankfully, over time, we're like, it's interesting. You see people, and it's like, oh, I don't like that new keyboard controller that was released. It's very plasticky. It's like, oh, sorry. Would you prefer we go back to using elephant's tusks for all your gear? Yeah, was that better? Would you rather see all these animals butchered for your happiness? Hello, Mr. Smith, Blue Unicorn. Who else have I missed? I've got to catch my breath, yeah? I'm way too energetic today. I've got iced coffee today because it's already 19 degrees and it's 8 in the morning, folks. Today's going to be a bum burner of 30 degrees. Yay me. Can't wait. Very excited. Yes, no, not violin strings, the violin bows. So I have a violin. I'm not going to go find that. It's over there as well. But the violin bows are made of horsehair. Yes, indeed. This is true, but not the strings. So there's that. And deer is made of food. That's funny. So, yeah, of course they haven't used ivory for a long time. But, you know, they originally did. But, you know, this is I'm trying to give a history to build up to where we're going, because the future looks very weird for music, I believe. Let me just fix this. Oh, there we go. We're back. Yes, bows are horsehair. And I don't know if you know this, but if you do play violin and you have a bow, of course you have a bow, your best practice with a bow when you finish playing is to loosen the bow. So the hair, the bow, it loosens up and it's not taut in your case, right? So that's what I read when I got my violin, that you should just loosen it slightly and then tighten it before you start playing. Just it has a little screw on the bottom to make the horsehair taut on the bow. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I watched some YouTube videos on it. Maybe they were lying to me. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but there's that. But yes, but the point is we have come from an era where, like most things, we just used to fucking just go, oh, I've got an idea for a new instrument. Let's go murder some animals. And we'll market that shit. I know, we've got a brand new this. Let's go murder some animals. It's all about murdering animals. These days, you know, I went to the zoo last week and it's all like conservation and stuff, which is fantastic. I don't want to be fucking, you know, playing music on dead animals. That sounds shit. But with technology, yes, it's rosin. It's rosin, not wax, but it's the same kind of thing. But or rosin, if you're a pompous. I'm trying my best not to get demonetized on these shows now because it's been happening every week. I always say something fucked up. Oh, I swore. Hey, Jerry Gomes. But all right, so let's move forward. So for a long time, digital recording, everything was analog. Yeah, so we're in a studio, tape to tape, reel to reel. Everything's analog. Analog, you know, all this gear that we had. Analog compressors. Analog, you know, delays and spring verbs. You know, a spring verb is made from a spring. Yeah? I'm sure there's heaps of youngsters out there watching who'll be like, oh, I love using this spring verb on my songs. And they just think that the spring is just like the word, but it's like it was made with springs, the same, you know, the kind of springs that you see on a trampoline. Right? And that's it was the tension of the springs that get that reverb, you know. So in the studio, like you look at bands like the Beatles and stuff, everything's all analog. And well, you can get away with bad jokes, right? Bad jokes are okay. It's the swearies that get you out here on YouTube, because YouTube don't see with the bad jokes. YouTube don't get you because they have no sense of humor. And no sense of context, so you can get away with shit jokes, because you know YouTube. Oh well, there goes the monetization. Damn. But yeah, so in the studio, bands like the Beatles and stuff like that, everything was analog, and you had to be extremely creative when you're recording because you've got tape. Yeah, and you'd have to chop tape, stick tape back together. Do all these fancy, you had to think outside the fucking box with analog, you know. It was important to get you, it was important, much more important back then to know your music, to practice, to be fucking good at what you're doing, because tape was expensive. And you're sitting in a studio paying good dollars to somebody, and, you know, this shit was really expensive. You want to get this stuff down, or it's a choppity, chop. You know, a completely different world to now where everything's digital and you can just right over it, oh, it's gone. Do a take, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. So it's nothing. And even with all this gear, with analog gear and spring reverbs, people would go right outside the box and make their own spring reverbs to create something different. The Beatles did heaps of crazy stuff, you know, to create, and so many other bands, to create something unique in the studio, take something else in there that wasn't essentially a musical instrument or something that wasn't part of their genre, to introduce different styles. So we are constantly evolving the way we make music, the way we perform music, the way we play music. You know, we're definitely trying hard to continue the trend of making interesting music with, again, such a limited scope of notes, scales, or all this stuff, you know. Yeah, £450 for a roll of tape, 24-track tape. It's, boo. So we're pretty clever when it comes to this, right? And these days, as I said before, here we are, we're making music on a piece of glass. You know, we've all sitting there with our Reapers and our Cubases and Logics and Garage Bands and whatever your poison is, because it doesn't matter what the door is. It's all the same shit because we've moved into the age of ones and zeros. Everything's all completely digital, so it's expendable. You can just delete it, gone. It's all on a hard drive. There is no tape. And now, ironically, you know, we've gone through this renaissance of plugins and making plugins that are old tape to turn our music into shitty old tape. I'm always dumbfounded by sometimes we are fucking stupid. And you go around these loops, and here we are. It's like, hey, this brand new app's come out, and guess what it does? It makes your music sound all shitty and fucking distorted and broken and chewed up, like when you had an old cassette. And people are like, that's mad. I got to get that. How much? I got to get that thing that makes my music sound like dog shit. The thing that when it used to happen when I was a kid, you know, the tape got chewed, your favourite tape that you listen to, you know, your favourite Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi. It got chewed up and, you know, you didn't. Did anyone sit there when their favourite music got chewed up in a cassette recorder and go, yeah, man, that sounds awesome? No, we didn't. We were like, shit, and you had to get out a pen and you had to wind the cassette back in. But now we love it. We're like, I spent like 2 months recording this sick song and now let me put an effect on it that makes it sound like a chewed up tape. The kids are going to love it. Jeez, I sound old, don't I? But this is where it's at because, you know, because music evolves and no matter how hard you try to continue to innovate, sometimes you go back to innovate, yeah? It's like flared pants. They always come back every 20 years. Is it a good thing? No. Stop wearing flares, please. We have street sweepers now that can do exactly the same job. Or if the tape got all caught up in the machine, yeah, it was game over. Oh, sometimes you could like save it and wind it and get it winded in. Yeah, Barry Glenn says, I hated the tape stretch and wobble and hiss. And now there's apps. I've reviewed many of them. It's like guaranteed to have the best hiss and wobble you've ever heard. But trends come back in and people want to try and capture the old sounds because, that's the thing. It becomes a trend that that somebody does it and it pays off for somebody. And then another group of people go, I want to do that as well. That was trendy. And then it opens the door for manufacturers and stuff like that to create these kind of things. And you're rocking and rolling. We are at the halfway point of the show, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I know there's 30 of you here. And you know what I do at the halfway point? I know it's a pain in the ass, but we have to pay the bills if I get monetized today. I'm sure I'll make sure I don't. Halfway through the show every day, we run the ad for YouTube. I do it because people were complaining that the ads were coming up at different times and then you miss things. So if we do it all at the same time like this, yoink, the ad's been run. You may or may not get an ad. If you do, we will wait for you to come back. Tick tock, tick tock. And it helps me to know where to put my ad in when I have to go back at the end of the show and do all that stuff when it's processed. You can avoid the ad by becoming a YouTube Premium member. It's a very nice life, trust me. I have been a member for a long time. Tape being flipped and backwards. Yeah, now you can do that shit just with an app. So here we are in 2024. Let's start talking about the future of stuff. Let's start making some predictions about where the fuck we could go because there's a lot of things out there that are interesting because now we've got things like wearables. We're moving already into the wearable space with watches. And that obviously is going to lead into more wearable things. There's a big space of wearables happening. Apple have begun their journey into wearables, whether you like it, dislike it, hate it or not, it's happening. There it is, weird as fuck. It is the Vision Pro. Now now Apple again not doing anything, and I'm not fan bitching out here because there's been so many augmented reality things happening in the space for a while, but nothing's really nothing's catching fire. Will this catch fire? I don't think yet. I think it's a very niche thing, especially for the price. But very minority report, and doors are at this stage at the moment where we've just gone from using a mouse, and now it's touch screen. You can even do some stuff with voice commands. We're heading more into that where people are using voice commands, and these glasses look different. They do look different. The first ones I've seen that are fully controlled by moving your eyeballs around. That looks crazy. Are we heading to this minority report stuff where people are and pinching your fingers to open and close things? Very, very interesting stuff, and flicking and all these kind of stuff. So here we are. For the longest time, we've been seeing stuff like Minority Report, and it's always like some person with all these things in front of them going, all this wank. And I'd always think when I'd see that shit, that seems like a lot of work. You sit like, instead you could be sitting there like this, just with a mouse going like that, moving around. But no, we're going to be heading to a future where there's like people going, like, what are we? Oh, going to be like, you're going to need a lot of room for that shit, aren't you? Can you imagine people sitting in an office, all their arms flapping around, someone gets smacked in the head? That all seems a bit loony. So this whole Apple Vision thing, where people's hands are like this and they're pinching, flicking like that, it seems really like intuitive. The thing is, are these companies who make something like this, are they going to be able to bring this down to a price that is possible for your everyday person to use it? That's going to be the big question. Hello, Independent Manny. That's going to be the hard thing, because Apple are expensive, and technology is always expensive from the beginning, and it always drops in price. I mean, you look at the first video recorders, Betamax video recorders, fucking thousands of dollars. Tremor Bear, g'day. Thousands of dollars. And now you can walk into a freaking supermarket and get a DVD player or an old Blu-ray. What's Blu-ray? For like $30. So technology changes and it comes down in price. It always does. Computers out of the roof prices and stuff like that. Tech for the rich, sticks for the poor. But, I mean, the price of entry always freaking drops. So, this Apple Vision thing is a thing. I can see them adding something like logic to this. It makes utter sense. I'd be interested in trying it. I mean, if they want to send me a set, I'll do it. I'll take one. I can't justify $4,000. Seems a bit crazy. I wrote a dumb song on my smartwatch. Boom, boom. Let's look at some wearable tech, because there's a big space. Not all of it's good. All right, so what are the possible futures of other instruments and creating music? Digital and virtual instruments. Digital instruments have already made a significant impact on the music industry. We're talking about VSTs, AU V3s. These are the things that have become the stock standard right now in the moment that we are using to make music. And is it a great system? No, there's still flaws. But you know what happens? VST is now the thing, and then they kind of don't really improve on it. We just kind of deal with all the flaws that it has. I mean, and there's so many VSTs and AUs that are just thrown out every day. You kind of think, is this a new app or is this just something with a different skin? It is the case, especially if you're on a broader platform like Windows. there's a lot of VSTs out there, and I see a lot of people going and grabbing all these VSTs because they're free or whatever and filling up their computers full of this shit, bogging down their computers, and they don't fucking use them. Most of the time, let's be honest, the VSTs and the effects and the instruments that come inside your door of choice are enough for you to make killer music, to make music that is like top 100 chart, no problem. You don't need any add-ons or anything like that. There's an EQ, there's a delay, there's a reverb, all that stuff. It's all so good quality just within the doors that you're using. You don't even need that shit. So, I mean, we weigh down ourselves with all this stuff. But digital or virtual instruments are the thing here. Gesture and motion control instruments, gesture and motion control technology have been making waves in various industries. But here's the thing, making waves. But are we seeing it? Not really. It's not really trickling down to us yet. It's still very niche. With the help of sensors and motion tracking devices, musicians can manipulate sound and control musical parameters through hand movements. Wax on, wax off. Yeah? And even facial expressions. You've seen that in the GarageBand. Wah pedal, yeah? Can I do it? Let's quickly open a GarageBand. If I open up GarageBand, quickly create a brand new project. I mean, I don't even know if most people know this thing. Why does my GarageBand take forever to load? So what do? I think it's, I have to go into guitar here, find a guitar. How cool is this shit? La la, guitar. Let's choose a more sounds. We'll do like a retro wah. And over here, see this? If I can get my mouse happen. See this little face over here? I can click this and it says, GarageBand would like to access your camera. And look at it. Can you see the little face moving as I move my mouth? So if I hold a note, wow. Oh. Maybe I need to make sure I've got sound coming through here. That would be good. How cool's that? And you can see the little pedal doing its thing. See the little pedal up here? Wow. 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 Look like a fucking idiot while you're doing it. But we're moving into this space. These things are happening right now. The motion and gesture. There's Music Kraken, another app that I did that, lets you jump around. It follows your hands and all this kind of stuff. If you want to go check out that app, go have a look at it. I did a whole 2-hour thing on all the crazy things, blinking your eyes to control different instruments, standing there doing this, and you can create an invisible drum kit around yourself. It's bonkers. Is it practical, though? This is the thing. Are people sitting down and going, you know what, I'm going to record a brand new song. Let me get out the invisible drum kit. It's not. It's not. Let's be honest. There's no point beating around the bush. No one's using it to make stuff. It's a great trick. Yeah, it's fantastic technology. Are we going to get to this? Is it always going to be just a great trick? It feels like it's going to be a hard sell to get to that point. I think. Anyway, let me just fix my camera again. Don't know why I'm slowing down today. It feels like it's going to be a big jump to be able to get to that kind of stuff. So with motion control, what if you've got epilepsy? Or a twitch, something like that. It's going to be hard. So, wearable instruments. These are very similar. So, motion, gesture, wearable instruments, advancements in wearable technology like watches. There are gloves. There's big artists that are spending a lot of money on creating like gloves and stuff like this. I'll show you some of them in a minute. Then we've got AI, artificial intelligence and machine learning. So we've already got people making AI generated music. We've got apps that can take your mixes and study it and use it against its algorithm to check out other songs that have been made to try and give you a master or an EQ. So that stuff's already going on. AI is not going to take over the world. It doesn't have a fucking brain. It's how it's programmed, right? It's all programmed. Hybrid instruments. Let's quickly go here. As technology advances, we can expect to see the emergence of hybrid instruments, and there's a lot of these coming out. There's a lot of really interesting guitars that have speakers and stuff built into them and MIDI built into them. They're just an acoustic guitar. Yeah, there's a whole lot of interesting guitars coming out. Are they catching fire? I don't think so. I think it's a weird industry, the guitar industry, because the market of guitars is still like vintage Gibsons and stuff, and people are paying a lot of money for that stuff. You've got debates about pickups and tone wood and all. Oh, sorry, I got talking about the guitars and all that stuff. But nobody, it's interesting when you see somebody try and introduce a new kind of guitar into their set. What does everybody say? Look at that wanker. You're not going to be at a gig where there's this dude with this hybrid guitar playing and everyone's like, oh, what an innovator. Nah, you know what humans are like. They're all like this fucking loser. Look at this loser. Who's he think he is? But I'll tell you where you do see these hybrid instruments is busking, street performing. I see it a lot since I've been out filming Walk With Me. A lot of street performers have very interesting guitars and stuff running through very interesting boards. And I've seen a lot of buskers who, it seems like they've got handmade instruments that I've never even seen before. So there's that. Let's have a look at some stupid instruments that are happening. I found this website. They want me to join this stupid website. I'm not joining it because... This one, the music making gloves. I think I've got more information on this. I don't want this one. Here we go. So this is by Imogen Heap and Shargal. Is that how you say it? Are among the artists pioneering new ways of interacting with synths and effects, courtesy of the Glover software. So look at this. Oh man, again, right? Hey, I like those gloves. They're really cool. Said nobody ever. But they're a thing. And apparently they have spent so much money on this kind of stuff. Any acoustic musician knows that there's deep interaction between how you engage with your instrument, how it sounds. Body posture and movement are all integral to what and how you play. Despite all of the amazing inventions and developments in the music technology, machines, pads, mouse, and faders can still get in the way of this interaction, and performing electronic musicians often look for ways to humanize their performance. Grammy award-winning artist Imogen Heap and her team of innovators think they have found a solution. I don't think so. Hey, Michael. Glover is the magic glue enabling and empowering artists to gesturally interface with off-the-shelf interfaces such as Leap Motion, Microbit, your phone with Gliss and Mimu gloves. So, yeah, look at this. So, I mean, the fingers are cut out, so that's already cool, isn't it? Because everybody wants to look like Michael Jackson and Madonna from the 80s. You know, yeah, well, that's true, Mr. Smith. They are incredible. But this is the thing. How long before they come to everyday people, and are they going to be more of a hindrance or a help? You know, that's what we're going to see. No glove, no interface, love. So there's one example. Look at these ones. Drum pants. These are for you, Mr. Smith. Drum pants. And look what they work with. Ableton, Loopy, Reason, Animux. So these are already like working. Should we watch the video? I don't want to get a claim, so I'm just going to turn down the sound. Drum pants.
Introducing Drum Pants 2.0. Better, faster, stronger. Attach the wearable MIDI triggers to any part of your clothing. Choose from infinite sounds. Wirelessly control over 300 music apps on your phone or iPad.
I don't want to get a claim for this idiot.
Drums in your pants, drums in your shoes, wherever you want them to go. So we're gonna rock. I got my
drum pants. I got my drum pants. I got my phone in my pants with my drum in my pants.
What I like about the drum pants is that they're really small, very light, wireless, being able to bring my entire looping setup in a backpack.
Can you imagine sound check at a gig?
Incorporate these trigger elements onto our clothing while playing other instruments.
We've really improved the latency over Bluetooth LE, and now with Apple's Mini over
guitar?
Bluetooth, you can connect drum pants to your laptop or connect it wirelessly to your phone, iPad, and control other apps.
We're making Drum Pants open source. With your help, Drum Pants will be customizable, upgradable, and have the support of the Arduino community behind it. Our production run is set up and ready to go.
You'll never get another chance to get this unique wearable controller. Let's rock the drum pants together.
Yeah, let's rock the drum pants together. Oh, man. They need to... You know what? But still, I'm laughing because it's funny, right? It is funny, right? To see somebody sitting there. Our brains, I don't think, are ready to understand it because we're so programmed to... Even when you see electronic drum kits, like I have an electronic drum kit, and even when I play that, I look at it and go, man, this is so weird. Like, I grew up playing real drums. You know, well, not playing them, just hopping on other people's kits and trying to play them. But now I have my own kit, and I can do it with headphones on. So remember when electronic drum kits came out, I was like, who's going to play these? And now the technology has come. So, look, I might be bonkers. Drum pants are probably right now just flying off the virtual shelves into people's legs and stuff, which is great. It's fantastic. I love it. What's this one? I found another one here. This is the... the octave. Why is he so happy? I wouldn't be happy if I was wearing that. The octave. It seems very complicated, doesn't it? For a set of bongos on your belly button. Doc Ock, anyone? Imagine this guy, he's like just bought his octaves and he's... and all of a sudden Spider-Man swings through the window. That's it, Doc Ock. I've caught you red-handed. And he's like, but I'm just playing my octave. I'm not Doc Ock. Of course he's barefoot. And he's got weird hippie anklets on. Of course. Who else would buy this nonsense? Right? Yeah. Back injuries. There's got to be a demo. Look at this. It looks... looks so difficult. Yeah, it's hard enough as a drummer, right? To get the rest of your bandmates to help you carry your drums into a gig. Can you imagine this? Hey, Chris, can you go get my octave out of the fucking car? Fuck me. Oh, man. Man, look at those pads too. All right, we're going to get to see it in action. Let's have a look at it. Then we'll play today's featured artist. We'll get the fuck out of here. I think the future of music looks weird. They're fucking using the pipes. Is it me or just does it sound like somebody playing on PVC pipe? It sounds shit. Oh, man. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's fucking into it. Look at him. He's into it. I don't know. It sounds like somebody's gone and bought some PVC pipe and they're hitting it with a stick, doesn't it? That's all it sounds like. I was expecting it to sound like it had samples in it or something. I thought there was, like, look at the size of it. I thought maybe it had like a chip in it. So it was like, oh, look, I'm scared for the future of music. In conclusion, because you need to have a conclusion on these shows. I hope you had a laugh today, yeah, because that's what these shows are about. Something fun, have a bit of a rant and a bit of a throw around some ideas of, where are we going with music? It seems like, in my opinion, we're not moving that fast. 30 years from now, I think we're still going to have computers and doors and guitars and all this kind of stuff. But there will be an ever-increasing adaptation of AI and all this kind of stuff that's in our apps. Is the octave going to kick off? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if it makes, look, it obviously makes some people happy, But right now, look, I think it's going to move progressively, slowly and chill. And the most important thing is just enjoy making music. It doesn't really matter what you make it on. We're already like breaking out of technology and finding interesting ways to make music. So ultimately, who cares? We're probably not going to be able to afford all these amazing things that come out anyway. So just enjoy making music. That took a long time to get to that point, didn't it? But we got there in the end. Today's featured artist, my friends, is the Indigo Sunsets, and they have just dropped a brand new track, and it's very exciting. Pete Johns is up next, and he is doing Your Music Live. I'll be back after Your Music Live, maybe. I'll decide if it gets too hot. I don't think I'm going to do a second show today. I'm going to be working on my my album, if you'd like to come back after YML. But this is the brand new Indigo Sunsets track by Stu and Andy. Andy's here in the chat with us. This song's a banger. It's called You Want It, You Got It. Links pinned it in the chat. If you please go over and subscribe, because they're going to have some great music coming out. Do the things that make you happy, folks. Mistakes make you better. We'll all rise together and just make music. Doesn't care. Doesn't matter what you make it on. Let's go. Yeah.